Hi, I'm Randy Horton, Chief Solutions Officer at Orthogonal. We're coming to you today from the Boston Convention Center for the LSX World Congress. You can't make it to every conference, can't even make it to most of the conferences. And even if you do make it to a conference, you can't necessarily talk to every interesting person who's got great insights to share. So what we're trying to do is curate a set of conversations for all of you with some really interesting people at the conference about what's going on. We have Megan Dover from the Cross-Border Impact Venture. Welcome, Meg.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to see you, Randy.
So tell us a little bit about your firm first. What does Cross-Border do?
Yeah, so I'm a co-founder and junior partner of Cross-Border Impact Ventures, and we are a impact venture capital fund. We invest in Series A, B stage MedTech, HealthTech focused technology companies based in North America and Europe. And all of our companies, we need to see improvement in health outcomes for women and children's health globally.
Women and children's health globally.
Correct.
That's the core thing.
Yes, that's our investment thesis. So we specifically look for device diagnostics and software for the most part, and look at areas where there's the greatest unmet need and biggest business opportunity.
Okay. Could you give an example or two of portfolio companies?
Yeah, for sure. So right now we have 9 portfolio companies in this fund. We're a 90 million fund 1. We're looking at making 2 more investments in this fund. And actually we're fundraising for our second fund. But companies in this fund, so we span a few maternal health technology companies, 1 newborn specific health company, a few in oncology as it relates to women and children's cancers, a cardiovascular device company, and a gynecological device company for pelvic floor, pelvic health, and a platform for menstrual health products, and where they have a novel diagnostic tampon. So really broad, women specific, children specific, and then what we call platform companies where we see women and children either impacted disproportionately or differently.
Got it. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. And what's your personal journey? How did you end up here?
Yeah. I don't have a conventional background. It's for someone who's gone into VC. So I'm an engineer. I graduated in biomedical engineering. I actually started my career in MedTech, working for a cardiovascular MedTech company, and then went into more management consulting and explored that avenue, actually more in big industry and clean tech. And after that, did my master's in business, had a family, 2 kids, and then realized that the health system is failing women in that process, specifically in maternal health and child health. I think it was I actually, in doing my master's in business, knew I wanted to get it back into tech and get into venture. And I knew when I went into venture, it had to be something that I really cared about. And so it was women and children's health was a clear answer. And I co-founded the firm with one of the other managing partners, and we brought in another partner. And so the 3 of us are, leading the fund, and we've been operating. It took us about 2.5 years to launch, and we've been operating as our own entity since January 2022.
Okay. Very good. Impressive stuff. So I don't know that there is a traditional path into VC these days, but
Sure.
Okay. So buzzwords, digital AI, you're doing a lot of investment around that. How do you cut through to what's real, what's not, what's a differentiator, what's not?
Yes.
You're supposed to make a bunch of money in a short period of time. How do you succeed at that?
So we're not the experts on the tech. We actually we're a little bit of an anomaly, which we've discovered in the women's VC space, where we're specifically looking for deep science, deep tech, disruptive tech solutions. We want to see that because our mandate is actually, which I haven't really gotten into, to bring technologies to have a successful exit and obviously return first, but our mandate is to bring these products from these technology companies into emerging markets. And so with that, we need to see disruptive, scalable, affordable, high quality type solutions that will be successful in a dual market. So we don't look for digital enabled service delivery models as an example. But for that very reason, we are looking for disruptive, state-of-the-art type tech, first-to-market products, and we rely on technical experts in order to help us with that diligence. We look for products that have breakthrough designation from the FDA, and we look for types of solutions where it's a first. There aren't any alternatives. As an example, we invested in one company that has a non-invasive sensor for fetal pulse oximetry. So right now, heart rate for the fetus and for the mother is not a good indication of the fetus's well-being during labor and delivery. The fetal pulse oximeter is a better biomarker for the fetus's oxygenation. And so this is a sensor on the belly that actually measures the oxygen of the baby during labor and delivery, which is a better biomarker to its health and well-being. And as a result, and it's a first to market and it is still in clinical development. It's something that would be completely game-changing for the industry. And we did a serious technical review before making that investment on that product.
Okay, wow, that's great. And how do you figure out if, it's interesting, unique founders you have to go after. So how do you figure out if the founders you're talking to are able to turn deep science into viable engineering?
Yeah, and into a commercial company.
Yeah.
So that's the big ticket. Is it a science project or is it something that's going to have commercial viability? And we, again, rely on our KOL experts. Will it fit into workflows? Does it have a commercial model? Will it get reimbursement? If it doesn't have a reimbursement code and it goes through DRG code, which a lot of maternal health technology companies do, are they thinking about the right health economic study in order to prove that it's a worthwhile purchase for the hospital? Do they have strategic contracts with some of the big players, which is a huge indicator for us to show that the strategics are watching these early startups and that's the viable exit. So we look at that as well.
And how do you find founders who can do both developed markets and emerging markets?
Yes. So this is, we have intake calls and we know from the first 5 minutes if there's a fit or not, whether a founder or a founding team or an executive team actually wants to go global. Do they want their products to be made accessible globally? Or do they care about global markets, or do they just want to go to the US and make like a quick exit? So we're finding it's actually really exciting because the teams we do invest in have that global mandate. And we find we have really great synergies with those teams, with the board of directors for those companies. And we're seeing a lot of really great signals from the market. I don't know if you're following the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now it's the Gates Foundation, but essentially put out $2.5 billion for women's health research, and even pivotal. So Melinda's shop just put out $100 million with another group called Welcome Leap for women's cardiovascular health and autoimmune disease. So there's still a lot, even with the Biden administration and the ARPA-H, Sprint for Women's Health, losing a little bit of momentum. There's still quite a bit of money coming in for women's R&D research in women's health, and actually this global mandate, which is really exciting and which is our bread and butter.
That's really interesting. Just out of curiosity, how many of your founding teams are people who were born and raised in America with no immigrant parents?
Yes. So this is very true.
Fifth generation founders do.
So it's a lot of people who are born outside the US, outside Canada. Half our portfolio is in the US, half is in Europe. And a lot of them have ties to some of these global markets and care.
Very good.
Completely.
Very good. What are you jazzed about at the conference here? What are you coming to learn, or I guess who are you coming to talk to? What are you looking for?
Yeah, I am really, actually, something I'm learning too, because I'm Canadian, is just the whole changes in the reimbursement pathway and what's going on with Medicare, Medicaid. So I'm really always interested to learn about some of these regulatory pathways and the tariffs and how that's impacting companies, because it's all about bottom line and reimbursement.
When you talk to these companies, because you got digital, you got deep tech, a lot of expertise, and you have a regulatory component.
Yeah.
Do you expect the company to have all those pieces, or do you end up helping them build out expertise that you've got the right story, but you're missing a couple pieces?
Yeah, no, we're on the board of all of our companies. But we typically come in at around the regulatory approval stage. And our mandate is to really help the company commercialize. So it's helping them sell, helping them commercialize, building in smart partners, and scaling in either Europe or the US. And also we build, if you will, impact projects for our portfolio companies and help crowd in grant funding to fund those projects.
Very good. Yeah, so when I heard process, I was thinking she might be Canadian. Then I heard about, and I knew. So you can either tell me your favorite Canadian hockey team or your favorite Tim Horton donut.
I know. I'm a Leafs fan through and through. Sorry.
Leafs fan. That's all good.
Even though it's embarrassing.
Nah,
I
it's
play
all good.
hockey. Both my kids play rep hockey. And it's not ice hockey. It's hockey.
Yeah, there you go. Great. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Thanks so much.